Hi. So, I am going to take you through my IMDb watch list. Now, I've probably been subscribed or a member of IMDb and IMDb Pro, depending on free trials, but certainly IMDb since it started, since they used to send out his list, the guy who runs it or ran it before he sold it, used to send out his recommended lists of films each year and things like that. And I use my IMDb watch list in an interesting way. Now, I do use other things now to kind of record the films I've watched. It used to be that I just used Letterboxd to record the films I saw at the cinema. I started doing that when I had like a monthly pass to go to the cinemas. But then when I moved out where I live now in the middle of nowhere, I just record everything I watch on my Letterboxd, and the link to that is in my link tree. But IMDb, I use watchlist for films that I either really, really want to see or I don't want to forget because I don't own them. So I've ended up with, well, hundreds upon hundreds of them. I'm going to kind of take you through them, just mainly so I don't forget them. But it's going to be really good fun. I'm looking forward to doing it. I am a big IMDb user. I've used it so much over and over. So much so that when I was at college, my friends used to call me IMDb. My memory does not work like that anymore. I wish it did. I could remember every incidental name of character and actor and the roles they did in different things. And yeah, that's just not me. I used to be the same with football. I just don't have that capacity to remember those things in the same way, which means that this becomes an even more important thing to do, which is to have my watch list. So I hope you enjoy going through this with me. Maybe you have some on your watch list. How do you use your watch list? Do you use it in the same way as me to not forget things that you've seen, or just uniquely for films that are coming up that you don't want to miss? And to be honest, when I get that email telling me something on your watch list is in the cinema, I never look at it. I'm not very good with keeping up with the latest movies. Well, let's have a look. Let's go through them. 526 movies. Let's go. So we've got quite a lot, actually, on here. They're not in a particular order. I think I did order them into year order of when I put them in or when I listed them. So they might not necessarily be in year order, but they will be in the order I put them on. So the first one that I've got on here is the film Big Fan from 2009. Now, there are other things that I think, obviously, I remove things as I watch them. So this isn't like every single film I've ever put on the watch list. And I thought this was pretty interesting. It's like an idea of it was that there's like a big sports fan and he is like obsessed with his team, like his whole life is following his football team, American football team, and then he gets into an altercation with his favorite player. And I thought it was quite a good concept. Now, looking at it online, looking at it on here, I think Corrigan's been in some good stuff as well. I quite like him. It's Patton Oswalt, Michael Rappaport, pretty decent cast. Miserable with a big bruise on his eye. I thought, yeah, I might give this a go. Might check this one out. It seems a bit different, like a dark comedy. But so far, I haven't. Well, at least since 2009, I haven't. Let's kind of go take you through them bit by bit. And if there's ones that really stand out that I think you should check out or we should check out together. The other one was Homicide: Life on the Street. It was a program I used to watch occasionally. I used to really like Richard Belzer's character in that. To be honest, all of them were really good. Yaphet Kotto was very good in that as well. It's an excellent show. It's a mad how that's kind of taken off in a different direction with all the special victims units and what's it called, Law and Order, when this seemed to be superior in lots of ways. However, it did last for 122 episodes. Maybe I was thinking about buying the box set, and that's why it's on my list. Submarine, the Richard Ayoade directed film. I remember liking this and thinking, I must buy it on DVD when it comes out. Obviously, that's about 14 years ago now. And it was good, yeah. It's not American Pie, even though it is about a boy who's trying to lose his virginity. It's not that kind of thing. Paddy Considine's in it, who I think is possibly the greatest living British actor. He's really, really good in that as well. He's good in everything. Stingblade. I was thinking of buying. I really liked that when I first saw it. I know it won the Oscar as well. Billy Bob Thornton. Remember? All right, Dean. French fried potatoes. It's interesting. Maybe I see it a bit more cynically now. See it more along the lines of a kind of more arty version of Forrest Gump or something. But yeah, Billy Bob Thornton's really good in it. Dwight Yoakam's good in it. It was directed by Billy Bob Thornton as well. That's kind of when he became a big star, isn't it, through that film? Fletch Lives, I put it on there because I think I wanted the VHS. I was always a big Fletch fan. I read the Fletch books. I love the disguise elements of it. I like Hal Holbrook as well, who's also in Fletch Lives. I can't remember. I remember having the poster for this. I used to get posters from Video Shop. I remember wanting Fletch Lives, so I just put it on there. Maybe a nice feeling. I was hoping the Book of Mormon play, Trey Parker and Matt Stone scripted play. I was hoping it would become a film. So far, I put it on a long while ago, and it's still on my watch list, and they've not made it into a film. I think it will be hilarious. I've heard it's great. This is a bit of an unusual one there. Dancer, Texas. Oh, gone too far. Dancer, Texas, population 81. Kind of hard to describe this one. It's kind of a small town, late 90s film. It's sort of like Breckin Meyer, Peter Facinelli, people like that in it. I think Ethan Embry's in it. Basically about everyone's going to leave this small town together, and then some of them have doubts and get kind of tangled up in hometown stuff. But it's actually quite well written and quite a nice film. I remember back when Sky used to do a new movie every Saturday on Sky, and we had Sky for a while, and on Sky Movies they used to show like a new movie every Saturday at 8 o'clock. And I remember this being one of them that I recorded, and I quite liked it. So I was like, oh, I'll keep hold of that. Top Gun Maverick, I've still not got around to watching it. I heard it's very good, but I haven't heard much about it. It's got Jennifer Connelly in it as well. Awesome. But yeah, I just couldn't kind of push myself to watch it. I think I've got access to it now. Feature film based on Knight Rider that's unmade. So sometimes I put unmade stuff on here as well. So for example, unmade Knight Rider, Who Framed Roger Rabbit 2. You'll love Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Sequel to Tintin. Don't know if I want that or not, but I did enjoy the first one. I'm a massive Tintin fan. I've read all the books. The film was okay. It was good. Felt like a bit like a computer game. But they said the next one's going to be based on Prisoners of the Sun, directed by Peter Jackson, but I don't know how true that is. Some of these things are kind of more speculation than they are actual fact. Phone Shop I put on there because I wanted to buy the Blu-ray. An underrated comedy show, Phone Shop. Every episode hilarious. They're very, 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 very good. Tom Bennett, who's excellent in that. It is consistently funny, which is really hard to do. I think there's only a few modern sitcoms that have managed to be consistently funny and quite unusual and off-center. I think Staff Lets Flats is very good. Phone Shop was very good. I do like Friday Night Dinners as well. In the Company of Men, I have seen. It's quite a dark. Neil LaBute, everything about his stuff is quite dark, isn't it? Where they're like two guys who try to get revenge against the entire female gender by sort of both of them vying for her attentions. It's quite a sad film, but very well acted. Aaron Eckert's very good. And I think that's probably the film that made Aaron Eckert a star. Brighton Rock I put on there because I always like the idea of maybe a modern remaking of that. In fact, is there a modern remaking of that? Maybe there is. With is it Andrew Garfield, maybe? I don't know. But I think Richard Attenborough is a very, strangely, because he's won lots of things and he's well known. You ever seen Rillington Place and things like that? Incredibly powerful actor when he was a young man, or even when he was in his middle age. And people just think of him as like Father Christmas or something, but he's I've heard the radio play of Brighton Rock, which I think he did as well, and I really liked it, so I've always wanted to own that. Cecil B. Demented was a film that stood out to me back in 2000, and I still haven't got around to watching it 24 years later. I really liked Stephen Dorff around the era of SFW. I like the idea of anything to do with filmmaking because I was going to be a writer and a filmmaker myself. I wanted to be. And they kidnap an actress and force her to be in the film. I kind of got Bowfinger vibes from it, but maybe a bit darker and a bit weirder because it's John Waters. By the way, Bowfinger, amazing film, stands the test of time. Zero Effect was one I watched on VHS and loved it. Ben Stiller and Bill Pullman, about the world's greatest detective, and he has to solve some cases. And I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, Ben Stiller is like his sort of sidekick. Bill Pullman's really, really good in that. I need to see that again. Stay tuned because I saw it at the cinema when I was a kid in '92 and I really wanted to see it again. John Ritter and Pam Dawber she's from Mork and Mindy, and obviously John Ritter's been in so many different great things. He was incredible. And it's kind of weird, really weird for a kid's film. Lots of weird stuff. It's almost more like Terrorvision or something like that, or Bad Channels. So yeah, the next one was The Gardener, which was the follow-up to Monson McBall. I always get his name, McMalboff. He did a film that I absolutely love. Oh, what's it called? I absolutely love it. Love it so much. Can't remember what it's called. It's a long title with the word in. A Moment of Innocence, which I think is a 10 out of 10 film. I watched that once or twice, and I wanted to watch his next one. He mixes documentaries and dramas together in a really creative way. He's a director for you to check out. There's his name there. Probably butchering his name, but that's how. Yeah. The Gardener. I still want to see that. An Open Secret. That was around the time when we started hearing things about a certain director of X-Men, and I was like, oh, I can't. This film can't all be about him. Now I don't know if did it actually get made. This An Open Secret. Has anyone watched this? Oh, it seems to have been. It's been rated. Amy Berg. I think she's done a few documentaries. She's done one called The Red Pill, that was quite interesting. The next one was Kevin Smith, Moose Jaws. Basically, the conceit of the film being that it's Jaws, but with a moose. And I don't think it got made because of the way things went after Tusk. So I don't think they got made for that reason. Gremlins 3, again, I don't think that's happening. Battery's not included because I didn't want to forget Battery's not included. Because I just think it's one of those underrated films. I think it gets lumped in with Cocoon and stuff like that because you've got like basically old folks and sort of supernaturally things. But I loved all the little robotic items, little battery type items that come alive in Batteries Not Included. That was definitely like a Christmas time movie. When that came on, you'd record it. Same as Inner Space. Again, I need to rewatch Inner Space because I remember absolutely loving that when I was a kid. So what, both of those in '87. Another John Waters film that I wanted to see, A Dirty Shame, with Chris Isaak. I like Chris Isaac's music. I liked his. Chris Isaak did a TV show that was like a kind of comedy TV show. And yeah, like it's a strange idea about I think it's Tracy Ullman's character gets hit on the head and then she becomes like super horny, but in a comedic way. The strange thing about, I think, Tracy Ullman is I just think she's just a little bit OTT for even in comedies. Like she takes me out of it a little bit whenever I see her in things. I don't think she's untalented. I just think she's a bit too much sometimes in things. Whether it's in a Woody Allen thing, she's like, I'm acting over here. I'm crazy. I'm wacky. Whack. It's a little bit too much. Moonlight Mile, I have seen. I think that's quite an underrated film. Basically, Jake Gyllenhaal loses his girlfriend, I think. It's her fiance, and he becomes very, very close with her mum and dad, who are Dustin Hoffman and Susan Sarandon. It's really, really good. Fall Guy, I was a massive fan of the Colt Seavers. Fall Guy, where's my little Fall Guy truck? Riveting stuff. There we go. Colt Seavers Fall Guy truck. I wanted to see what the new movie was like. I like Ryan Gosling as well. I've liked him. I think he's been great since I first saw him in Half Nelson. It's called Half Nelson. Full Nelson. It's definitely a wrestling movie where he's a teacher. He's really good in that. Obviously, Drive as well, which I always want to call Crash. Over the Edge. I like this idea. This Matt Dillon film from 1979. where a group of teenagers go insane in this community after one of them dies. It's got a good rating. Young Matt Dillon is always good. Matt Dillon's always good. Is he? Yeah, he's pretty good in everything. Even all the way up to There's Something About Mary, I guess. Spanky the Monkey. Now, that's a film where I really rate it as a film, but I will probably never, ever watch it again. And maybe that's why I put it on there, because I'm not going to buy it, because it's weird. Like, it's weird. It's very uncomfortable watch, but I think Jeremy Davies is amazing in it. Alberta Watson is amazing in it. Even the tagline there, the way it's explained, is a little bit weird. I do think it's a good film, though. David O. Russell. Oh, yeah, he's a bit of a dick, isn't he, as well? But yeah, the other one was Heat Vision and Jack, because I'd seen this. I think they only made one of this, one episode as a pilot, never got made. It seemed amazing with Jack Black, Owen Wilson. I think Jack Black has a talking motorcycle. He's being chased by Ron Silver. The motorcycle is Owen Wilson. It's directed by Ben Stiller. Oh, when they were at like peak. But it only ever made one episode. I think you can probably find it on YouTube. Remake of Flight of the Navigator, directed by Bryce Dallas Howard. That doesn't really excite me very much, but I kind of want to keep an eye on it and see what happens. I hope it doesn't really. Can't improve. It's one of my favorite films of all time. Russ and Roger Go Beyond. I think that was a book that was going to be made into a documentary about Russ Meyer and Roger Corman. Because I'd seen the Roger Corman, I think Corman's World documentary, which is really, really good. SFW. I don't own it. I really identified with this, like, so fucking what? In 1994 was peak, so fucking what for me as well. He becomes very famous. I even remember his name, Cliff Spab. Oh man, that is like such a Kevin Smith kind of name. Moment of Innocence, that was what I was trying to tell you about before, because I can't find it anywhere. It's a 10 out of 10 movie for me. It's about something that really happens in his life, and then it's part fact, part fiction, all mixed in. Quite emotional. It's really, really good. Apparently, there was going to be a McLean original story, prequel, Die Hard. I heard there was going to be some de-aging with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but I don't know. Yeah, like they did in that other film with him. Documentary about Suge Knight. I was super into all that kind of death row, bad boy stuff. Did that get made, that documentary? Yeah, I've probably seen it. American Dream, American Nightmare documentary. Yeah, I have seen that. Finest Hours interested me. Group of Coast Guards trying to rescue people on an oil rig. Finest Hours, but I like the people who were in it at the time. I don't think it was as big as they are now. Chris Pine, Casey Affleck, and Ben Foster. And after Manchester by the Sea, which I really did not like, which I found very, very cynically made, Oscar bait nonsense, I really went off Casey Affleck. Chris Pine, I don't mind Chris Pine at all, but Ben Foster, I think, is an incredible actor. I think Ben Foster's good in everything. Demolition, I never got round to watching it. Jake Gyllenhaal film. I don't think many people watched it, actually. Blue Collar, I've seen that once. I was thinking I must buy it, so I put it on my list. Paul Schrader, I'm going to do a video about him soon, how crazy he's gone. It's a really interesting one because you've got three factory workers. You've got Richard Pryor, Harvey Keitel, and Yaphet Kotto. Richard Pryor is the absolute tour de force in this, acting-wise. He's not playing it comedically. It's a great film, Blue Collar, very underrated, 1979. The Rocketeer, I've seen it once, and I thought I must need to see that again. I like the stylistic element of that. Do you remember Australian satirical show called The McAuliffe Programme? Some of the stuff in that was hilarious. I think it was on the old Paramount Comedy Channel. Didn't want to forget it. Opposite Sex TV series. Only ever made 8 episodes, and not all of them got shown. It was a kind of interesting show about 3 boys who have unisex names who go to an all-girls school. It's like around the time of Dawson's Creek and things like that. But it was a bit too comedic back when those sort of shows were taking themselves quite seriously. So like Milo Ventimiglia is in it, Carl Howard, Chris Evans is what he's in it. He's called Carrie in it. He's really funny in it, and you can see the potential in him as an actor. Before he went and did not another teen movie. And then obviously, I think he was in a little thing called Captain America. I haven't got a clue what this one is, Trespass Against Us, with Michael Fassbender and Brendan Gleeson. I think it's about Irish gypsies fighting, or travelers, I think is the right term, fighting. And I've seen a documentary about it, and then I think this is like a dramatic one, but it doesn't have a very good rating there, but I still fancy seeing it. The underground work of controversial filmmaker Shane Ryan, who I don't think I know who he is. So we'll have a look through that. What else have we got? Simon the Witch TV show from when I was a kid. I just didn't want to forget about it. Do you remember that? Roger Dodger, another kind of dark, almost like misogynistic lead guy who learns to not do those things, starring a very, very young Jesse Eisenberg and Campbell Scott in the lead role there. I think it's George C. Scott's son, who's really good, Campbell Scott. I'm surprised I've not seen him in more things. Atlanta, which I think is consistently brilliant TV show, absolutely brilliant. Some of those individual episodes work incredibly well. I just didn't want to forget that. Overnight Delivery, Kevin Smith did some work on the script to help this one. This is the young Paul Rudd, a young Reese Witherspoon. Basically, he has to get back to his girlfriend to stop her getting a letter when he split up with her. He decides not to. And I believe Christine Taylor's the girlfriend, and Reese Witherspoon is his friend who helps him. Ed was one of my favorite TV shows. Sadly, you can't get it anywhere because of all the licensed music in there, Foo Fighters and all different things, made by David Letterman's Worldwide Pants company. Ed is a brilliant show with the wonderful Tom Cavanagh, Julie Bowen, Josh Rand. Oh, the whole cast great. Justin Long was Warren Cheswick. It's just funny. Every episode was really, really funny. I used to steal catchphrases and stuff. Documentary about Paul Verhoeven, which I still haven't seen, but I find him fascinating. Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla. I don't know why that's on there. I think that might be because it's in the public domain, and I find that kind of stuff interesting. Crazy Like a Fox, I remember watching that as a kid. Jack Warden, who's also great in Dirty Work. I remember liking that as a kid. I was wrong about the Red Pill director earlier on. This is an interesting one about men's rights movement. It isn't what you think it's going to be. It's not like a propaganda piece. It's actually very open discussion, and unlike a lot of documentaries, it's quite balanced and interesting. In the Heat of the Night, I think I've seen that. I do like Rod Steiger and Sidney Poitier, particularly Rod Steiger. Maybe I wanted to see it again. Murder in Successville. If you've not seen the British version of that, I think there's an American version of it. It's an incredibly clever show where you drop a celebrity into a scenario with comedic actors playing real celebrities. It's hard to explain, and they have to solve the crime and work out who it is who did the crime. It's really funny. Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes, I am suffering superhero fatigue massively. I will probably watch this. I'm hoping it'll be funny, it'll be good, because I used to really like Ryan Reynolds, even though I'm a Stockport fan and he owns Wrexham and blah, blah, blah. But I used to really like watching two guys go on a pizza place when that first came on. What happened to the other guy? Oh, what happened to the girl in it? Fatal Deviation. I watch that every St. Patrick's Day. It's on my channel right now. The best, worst kung fu film from Ireland ever. Pump Up the Volume. Happy Harry Hard-On there. That was one that I liked in my teens. Mumford, I can't remember much about this other than it's Jason Lee's in it. A guy pretends to be a psychiatrist and he isn't, or something like that. It's kind of a quirky film that wouldn't get made now, I don't think, just because they'd just be like, where's the audience for this? Like, this doesn't, it doesn't tick enough boxes. It's just like a weird small town thing. History of the World Part 1, Mel Brooks. I haven't seen that one of his. I thought it might be funny. I find him a bit hit and miss. When he hits, it's amazing. When he misses, I'm just kind of sat there. This one I wanted to see for a while. I think Kate Dickey's a really good actress. It's about like a CCTV operator, which I think was more prevalent, more discussion about it and Big Brother and all that kind of stuff back when this was made in 2006. Slice, did that even get released? I find it really hard to find. It's obviously not got a very good rating, but I think Paul Shear's in it. I like Paul Shear. about I think it's like a werewolf pizza delivery thing. I just thought it was interesting. This is an incredible show, Harry and Paul's Story of the Twos, all little clips about every TV show in Britain you can think of and how it was built up on BBC Two. There's another one on there as well, which is out of this world, called Love Box in Your Living Room. They really excel at doing these little sketches about it. Little Wizard of Oz is a terrible film by a lovely bloke, Luigi Cozzi, and I saw the UK premiere for this, and I was laughing my head off. I didn't realise he was sat right behind me, but we had a drink with him afterwards, and it was all fine. It was fine. It's like basically, I didn't realise when he told me afterwards, it's like a school project, essentially, that he helped some kids in schools make a film based on The Wizard of Oz. So, give him a break. This is great. Category 3 documentary. I watched this at the same film festival, and that's what made me get into Taxi Hunter, which I do actually own now, and I have seen and enjoyed. Dream Home is another one I need to catch up with from those Cat 3 films. Beach Bum, a Hamid Karim film. I don't know. I think it's either going to be absolutely terrible or absolutely brilliant, and I still haven't got around to seeing it. Doom Patrol interested me, the TV show at the time. It went for a few years, didn't it? 46 episodes. Wasn't our friend who won the Oscar for The Whale, Brendan Fraser, didn't he? Wasn't he in that? Timothy Dalton was in it as well, I think. The Great Buster documentary on Buster Keaton. I do find silent film really interesting. Got a lot of those on the channel that I've kind of upscaled and re-edited and tried to do it. Documentary about Deep Space Nine. I had a bit of a Deep Space Nine period. This is a deep one, deep cut. Rob Brydon doing made-up director's commentaries. Like clips and then talking over them like he really directed them. Documentary about the tragic Michael Watson story, or I suppose tragic, and then he's kind of done incredibly well to be up and walking and being able to communicate. He was in a coma. He got into a coma in a boxing fight against Chris Eubank. It's worth watching. I thought this was interesting. There's a documentary about Cambridge Analytica on Netflix, and I thought, if they can make a film out of that, that'll be good. It'll kind of be like The Social Network, but even more scary. But apparently there was going to be a new Warriors TV series. Magic the Gathering I know nothing about, but I like Brandon Routh, and I was interested in it. Quantum and Woody, I don't know. I can't remember what that is. Oh, it had Joe McHale in it. I like Joe McHale. That might be a reason. Operation Secret Agent, Spies and Thighs. Oh, trailers. Computer Beach Party. I don't know anything about that. However, it does sound awesome. 1987. Morbius. Also, I have got that on my watch list at the moment. I've still not got around to watching it. People tell me it's actually not that bad. It's maybe overhated considering there's a lot worse superhero films. Maybe if it was a Marvel film, it wouldn't have got. I don't know. Who knows? The Mandalorian. I don't know why that's on there. It's not like I'm going to forget. I have definitely had a bit of Star Wars lag, and I'm kind of halfway through, I think, the third series. I love the first series, and I liked a lot of the second series, and maybe it needed to finish. I don't know. Many Saints of New York, massive Sopranos fan, still not got around to watching that. Another Luigi Cozzi film, just because I like the guy. He's an awesome guy. No, nothing about this one. Fredo, about someone removing nuclear waste and then getting in trouble with the Yakuza. Doomsdays is a film I never hear anyone talk about, and I saved it so I didn't forget about it, with Leo Fitzpatrick from Kids, who is a bit of an acquired taste because of his kind of way of talking and delivering, and his friend. They basically squat in different people's houses in these holiday homes, and then somebody joins them, and they always get caught. It's actually not a bad film at all, Doomsdays. It's worth watching. And again, another one where you would not think I would like this. Rebel Wilson, Liam Hemsworth, Adam Devine. All three of those maybe just go, But isn't it romantic? It's actually quite funny. It's one of the few sort of romantic comedies I can think of, modern ones, that's actually worth a watch. It's not as bad as I thought. Movie Game, I used to watch that when I was a kid. I used to learn a lot of trivia from that, so I saved that on it. It was originally presented by Jonathan Morris and then Philip Schofield. Moving on. Grosse Point, do you remember that TV show? It was like I like things that are kind of meta, so it was like they're making a high school drama called Grosse Point. I think I originally watched it because I thought it was about Grosse Point Blank, but it's not. Made by Darren Star, who I think ended up doing Sex and the City. But I quite like that Grosse Pointe. Young Americans spin-off from Dawson's Creek. Actually didn't mind it. I think they only made a few episodes of it. Grizzly 2, The Revenge. Never got around to seeing this one. Is it just recut old stuff? I don't know. I quite like the original Grizzly in a bad movie kind of way. Kung Fury. The first one's really short. Was interested in what they did with this one. I don't know what the hell Addicted to Fame is all about at all. Even though I think David Giancola makes a terrible movie, so maybe that's why. In the Bedroom, one of my favorite films of all time. For an Oscar-winning film or Oscar-winning actors and stuff, it never gets talked about. Todd Field directed and wrote it. Tom Wilkinson, Sissy Spacek, and Nick Stahl are amazing, and also what's he called? William Mapover, Tom Cruise's cousin. It's amazing. It's a wonderful film. In the Bedroom, check it out. Gung Ho, I really went through a Michael Keaton phase when I was a kid. He was on all the time. And Mr. Mom, Gung Ho, basically always about him being a good guy who gets a bit confused with his job or gender roles or something or other, and then ends up finding his way at the end. Michael Keaton, has he ever put in a bad performance? Here he is again. Night Shift, one I've not seen. I've seen Gung Ho. Mr. Mom, what a film that was. As a kid, I've not seen it since probably about 1985, but I'm pretty sure I like it still. The Great Dictator, Charles Chaplin. Twilight Zone, one of my favorite episodes, Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. I do like plane-related things. Glitterati, I don't think you can get hold of it, of the Roger Avery directed version of, what's he called? Bret Easton Ellis story, which I've read and quite liked. Makeup, this sounded interesting because it's set in Cornwall. It's Joseph Quinn, who I didn't know who he was at the time. Basically, she thinks her boyfriend's cheating on her, and she meets this girl who kind of tries on makeup with her. It's kind of weird, kind of glowy. I don't know, a bit like that film that Ryan Gosling directed, that kind of color, and synthy music kind of thing. I've not seen it all the way through, but I really want to. Buried. Wow. Okay, so this is a TV show about being in prison starring Lenny James. Honestly, as good, if not better than all the American shows about being in prison that I've seen, like Oz and things like that. It's so good. I'm a massive Saved by the Bell fan. I have not got around to watching the reboot other than 1 or 2 episodes. It seemed okay. The Velocipaster, people say it's funny. Not got around to watching it. Night of the Hunter. I love Robert Mitchum, Cape Fear, and things like that. I thought this sounded really fascinating. I've not seen it. There's Event Horizon TV show, We Can But Hope. I'm really interested in Peter Sellers. I've read a lot of books about him. There was a film about him called The Ghost of Peter Sellers that I've not seen. And The Newton Boys, which was like a bank robber late 90s thing, and I thought it was going to be like, it was Richard Linklater, Matthew McConaughey, Ethan Hawke. I thought it was going to be kind of a bit like Young Guns, but I've still not seen it. Man for All Seasons, because I was interested in Robert Shaw being in it, but also the story of Sir Thomas More. Star Wars Detours, which is almost impossible to find. I think they only ever made 1 episode of it, cartoon. Wolfman is coming out. Lee Winnell. I've done a little re-edit of some interviews with him recently on my channel. He is making a Wolfman film, and that's all I know about that, but I'm interested. New Escape from New York sequel? Don't know. Direct-to-video, just documentary. I don't know much about that. The Wrong Guys. I thought this was interesting, like it's like one of these reunion films. But it's like Richard Bells, and Louis Anderson. I think Richard Lewis and Richard Bells are in a film together. Sounds interesting to me. From 1988. Ahsoka, I've still not got around to watching that. See what I said earlier on. Feeders, oh man, the Poloni Brothers. Oh my word. I don't know what to say about those films. You're either going to love those films or hate them. And the fact that they've made one so many years in the future, there's 2022 Feeders 3. If they're in on the joke, then it's going to be really bad. Not even fun. This is interesting about these two Scottish guys who became rappers or pretended to be hardcore rappers and got signed up by Sony. It's really worth watching. It's really interesting. The great hip hop hoax. Shakespeare's Shitstorm. I'm in there because I met Lloyd Kaufman and we were talking about it a lot, and I still not found a way of watching it other than if I sign up for the Throma thing. Anyway, moving on. Twin Dragons, the McNamara brothers. Those are two strange guys. Twin Dragon Encounter, things like that. Best of the Worst. I always put that on there because I do like watching Red Letter Media's Best of the Worst. Swamp Zombies. I like Len Kabaczynski as a person. I've seen interviews with him. He seems such a nice guy. He's just living out his dream, making films. He gets some interesting people in there. Oh, look, the Blue Mini's in it. Demon Cop. Cameron Mitchell's Sitting Down film. That's probably all I need to say about that. Another Len Kabaczynski one, Pact of Vengeance. It's got John Micklethor in it. Oh my word. Brave Star. I knew they made a film of Brave Star, but I never got to see it. So I want to see that. Phantom Empire, a Fred Olen Ray film with Jeffrey Combs in it. I wanted to see that. Something. The Order of the Black Eagle. Now, there is a scene in that where a guy accidentally runs over somebody's head on a little buggy, which is insane, and the guy just gets up. It's a kind of James Bond take on James Bond. There's two of them, Unmasking the Idol and The Order of the Black Eagle. There is a monkey in there called Boone, who's also in Shatma, who's the best actor in the whole goddamn thing. He's amazing. Dangerous Men. I know nothing about that one. I don't even know why it's there. I think it's like a... I don't know what it's about, Dangerous Men. I don't know why I've got that one on there, really. Champagne and Bullets, just because it's one of the worst films ever made, but I do find it entertaining and I do want to own it one day when the price isn't £1 million. Got Neil Breen on there, just to remind me to keep checking Neil Breen. Screwball Hotel. I don't know anything about that. That sounds like a proper 80s Beach Babes bonanza kind of thing. Matt Kermo's Secrets of Cinema. I really enjoyed all of those. I was hoping that'd come out on DVD, but it hasn't. Another bad film that's available on YouTube, Partners. Uninvited, the infected cat film that I watched with Larry, the horror cat dad. Uninvited, not The Uninvited, as I call it on my thing, but on my thumbnail. But that's a good film in terms of like lots of fun. Fatal Games, another bad good film, lots of fun. Due South, brilliant TV show. Loved that when I was a kid. Would quite like to watch them all back again. Only 67 episodes. How often do you change the lead character, one of the lead characters, and he's just as good, and then you have both of them? It's kind of, yeah, strange. I've not seen Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. It's supposed to be quite funny. Remains to be seen. I'm going to give it a chance, he says. It's been on my thing since 2023. The Thief and the Cobbler is an animated film that I've not seen. Vincent Price. Let's keep going. Filmmaker decides to memorialize his friend when his friend's ex-girlfriend announces she's expecting his son. I don't know why I've put that on. I'm not sure if it's a documentary or real. Yeah, it's a documentary, I think. It's quite sad. A Roger Corman based, I think it's Roger Corman, or there's definitely two car driving ones. One of them is Roger Corman with Ron Howard that I quite enjoyed. The Burrowers is maybe that's a good one to watch back to back with these other kind of really dark cowboy films. I'm trying to think of it. What's the guy called who just Dragged Across Concrete? That he made. What's he called? Craig Zala, who did Bone Tomahawk. The Borrowers is kind of in that sort of area. It's not the Borrowers. It's the Borrowers, different. Do you remember those books, the Usborne World of the Unknown series? There's a short documentary about them that I've still not managed to find. Tales from the Crypt Keeper cartoon. Black Bear was supposed to be interesting, but I think it might be really awkward, like a very socially awkward Aubrey Plaza in there. Chungking Express is supposed to be really, really good. I think it's like a kung fu / romantic comedy. Assassins, documentary about the two women who tried to assassinate were convicted of assassinating Kim Jong-un's half-brother. But I'm not sure about that. Sesame Street, they was going to make a film of it. But, it stars Bo Burnham, Chance the Rapper. When's that coming out? I don't know. Ski School, that's been on there a long time because I think I just was hoping it'd be a bit like Police Academy. And I do like ski-related films. Look, Ski Patrol, Ski 2, Ski School 2, Out Cold, Diamond Cobra versus the White Fox. I think that's terrible. This one is not terrible. Dead Man's Curve, Matthew Lillard, full-on Scream type of. This is the kind of darker take on Dead Man on Campus. Basically, if your roommate commits suicide, then you get straight A's or something. And it's Matthew Lillard, Michael Vartan, Randall Batinkoff. And it's pretty cool. There's a scene in it where they do Russian roulette. There's loads of references to other films in it. It's pretty cool, actually. I think Dan Rosen has something to do with The Last Supper. It's kind of around that era of sort of black comedies, really dark black comedies. This one, I don't know. Sports fishermen fighting for their lives. I just thought that's interesting. Jason Mewes is in it. I need to see what that is. Bowfinger, what a great film. That's on there because I love it and I don't want to forget I love it. Gun Crazy, Crime Spree from the 1950s. Don't know anything about that. Why is that on there? I want to see it though. Boys from County Hell, Irish vampire film. I think that's on Netflix at the moment. Another Irish one. I like Jack Rayner a lot, and I think this is about Jack Rayner trying to save his mum from drug stuff, and Will Poulter's in it as well, and Toni Collette. I'm surprised it's got such a low rating for the cast it's got, so I don't know, maybe there's pacing or story issues. It's only an hour and a half. Don't know, but I'm interested for that one. Ravedactyl. Don't have a clue what that is, but it's got Coolio and Donald Faison in it. Zapped. I've always wanted to see that one. I saw the poster for it. It's got Bio in it. Benny Loves You, which again, it's one of these kind of like evil puppet films, I think. I thought that seemed quite interesting. Vicious Fun. I know nothing about that one. However, it reminded me a little bit of Censor, and wasn't a massive fan of Censor. I thought, maybe this will be like a little underground one that's a bit better. Cyber Seeker, Joe Estevez. I think I was going through a phase of watching terrible Joe Estevez movies. Spaceless, haven't got a clue. Burning Love, that is funny. A spoof Bachelor, and June Diane Raphael, Michael Ian Black, who I love, who's in Ed as well. He's really good. Have you ever seen the show Starving with David Faustino and Corinne Nemec? They basically play really down in the luck actors. It's actually quite darkly funny. He's trying to get married with children back on the road again. It was on Crackle, if you ever remember that. I used to watch it at college on Crackle. Grab the Roll Boys, never saw it, but I wouldn't mind seeing it because Patricia Arquette's in it. I love Patricia Arquette and Corey Haim, and this was around the time of the big inline skating craze. Miracle Valley, it's a Greg Sestero film, and I'm interested in anything to do with The Room, such as Big Shark, which I would like to see. Mosquito State sounded interesting to me at the time, about like a Wall Street guy who messes up and runs away and has to like escape. Yeah, there's all kinds of weird stuff going on. I don't know. It reminds me, the synopsis reminded me a bit of that insect-based Creepshow vignette. So I was like, this likely never to be released, Coyote versus Acme. I think that was the one that sadly they've locked away. Starsky and Hutch TV remake never got made. One More Time, a Jerry Lewis film, directed by Jerry Lewis, but Sammy Davis Jr. I do like the Rat Pack. Vincent Short with Tim Burton. Calm with Horses, I can highly recommend. Cosmo Jarvis and Barry Cogan is in that. Another Irish film, really like it. It's excellent. It has a really good showdown at the end. This one I saw, Anton Differing film, I saw at an old film festival. It's a strange one. It's a very, very old-fashioned murder mystery, almost Agatha Christie. Help! I'm not going to watch this, I don't think, but I saw clips from it, and I thought Jodie Comer and Stephen Graham were amazing in it. Barbarians, British people in a country house. Their friends are not very good friends. They're all kind of middle-class meanies to each other and do horrible stuff. This one, I don't know much about it other than it's Clint Eastwood and George Kennedy. The Elgar sanction. He gets basically an assassin out of retirement to avenge a murder. Okay. Another underrated actor is the actor who's in this. His name escapes me. Who's in the film Bull? Basically, another revenge film. I don't mind revenge films if they're done well. If the revenge fits the crime. So like I Spit on Your Grave and things like that. I'm trying to think what he's called. The main guy, Neil Maskell. Yeah, he's a very, very good actor. Creed 3, I've still not got around to watching that. I kind of drifted off with those. I used to be a massive, absolutely massive Rocky fan. Dead Reckoning, I've not seen that yet. Black Adam, I feel like I have to see that. I've not heard good things, but still I'll give it a chance. Echo. I do want to see that. It has links to the Daredevil universe and Kingpin. Northman, I like Robert Eggers' stuff. I like The Lighthouse. I want to see that. Still not got around to it. Rennie Harlan stuff is always good fun. Not seen The Long Kiss Goodnight. Would like to. Time travel stuff called Time Cut, which I know nothing about. The Black Cat, another Luigi Cozzi one, which I think this was when he was making good horror films with all his friends like Argento and people. When the Lights Went Out, don't know that. Poltergeist in Yorkshire during blackout, so interesting. The Seventh Curse. Chow Yun-fat's in that, so that should be interesting. Night of the Living Dead, what version is that? A new one that's happening? I think it might be. Peacemaker, I watched the first episode, really liked it. Television, one of my favourite horror films, love it. It's on there so I don't forget. To be fair, I could probably take it off because I've got it on VHS now. Unwelcome. About another Irish-based Malevolent Goblins. Oh, interesting. Jack O. Linnea Quigley's in that one. A great documentary that Al Lacard did recently on her, and she liked it too. She said she liked it. I don't know about this Jack O. I think I have seen Jack O. The Feast. I think it's a vampire one. It actually made it into the cinema, but quickly disappeared. Aha, the movie. I thought that was going to be interesting. Aha! Thought that was going to be an interesting one to watch, but I never got around to it with all the Morton Harket. Interesting story. I mean, how many Norwegian pop bands can you think of who were that successful? Roxette's from Sweden. House, schoolgirl, 6 of her classmates travel to Auntie's country home, which turns out to be haunted. Don't know how I found out about that one, but it's from 1977. Road Games. I quite like films like Duel, so that's probably why I've put this one on. This is amazing. If it's still on Netflix, you need to watch it. It's like if you remember like watching cartoons and holidays, or in America like would Saturday morning cartoons, Saturday morning all-star hits, smash. How good is Kyle Mooney in this? If you've seen it, he plays multiple characters. The clips, the cartoons, everything in it. It's so good. 9 episodes, really? I didn't know that, but it went very fast. I watched them all in one go, which I very, very rarely do. Old Dracula, I have heard is very good with David Niven. I want to see that. However, it's a 4.4 IMDb, but yeah, just won't put me off. A Jean-Luc Godard film, a surrealist parallel, a couple and a dog. Oh yeah, it's something to do with dogs and like the purity of love and dogs, and I thought it was interesting. Goodbye to Language. The Uncanny, another cat-related one. Ironically, I'm allergic to cats, so they're really scary to me because they could kill me. I have got this one. It's 3 stories, an anthology, but all based on cats. Peter Cushing's in there. Torture Garden, another Amicus anthology, which I love all the Amicus ones. That's the only one I've not seen, or in fact, I think I have seen it, but I don't own it. I've heard a lot of good things about the Dungeons and Dragons film. It's so cool that Sam Weir from Freaks and Geeks is now directing and writing films. It sounds good. I'm looking forward to seeing that at some point. That's why it's on there. Crimes of the Future, David Cronenberg film. I've heard mixed things about that, but you do with most of his films, don't you? But I'm interested in seeing it. British sex comedy ones for the 70s. I love the Confessions films and Carry-Ons and things like that. So yeah, I'm interested. Plus the interviews Pete Walker, I think, who made some incredible horror films, underrated British horror films. Tower of Terror, don't know. Lovecraft 1, don't know what that is. Prequel to Grease. Okay, Grease 2 is better than Grease 1, guys. We all know this. The Invitation, I feel like I've just discussed that one before. Babylon, which is out, and it sounded good, and it's on my watch list. I'm probably not going to watch it. I think it was maybe just a bit too much. I wasn't a massive fan of the other Damien Chazelle one with the singing and dancing, La La Land. This one, Jagged Edge, is supposed to be. Oh, I watched the document. I listened to a podcast about this. It's quite interesting about gender roles and stuff. Jagged Edge is an interesting film. Yeah. SLC Punk I never saw, but I felt like if I was watching SFW and films like that, I needed to see this one. 4 Dimensions of Greta. Oh, it's Pete Walker. That's why. Batgirl. That's been shelved, hasn't it? I'm ashamed. This is based on the Joe Orton play. Joe Orton's an interesting person to look up. He committed suicide quite young, wrote some pretty interesting plays. Was known for being quite promiscuous and interesting. And he's in the Kenneth Williams diaries that I'm reading. He's in there quite a lot. So yeah, it's quite ahead of its time. His stuff. Richard Attenborough's in that. Mr. Lonely, a Harmony Korine film. A Michael Jackson lookalike meets Marilyn Monroe. Meets Charlie Chaplin and a dog. That might be a bit too quirky, but we'll see how it goes. High Spirits. I never got around to seeing that one. I remember seeing the trailer for it loads and loads and loads. This would be one that I bet Gareth has seen a million times the trailer for on his when he was watching VHSs, because I feel around 88 or 87, the trailers for High Spirits was everywhere. Talking about video tasties. Dude Bro Party Massacre has... It sounds like a spoof of that kind of Slumber Party Massacre thing. Never got around to watching it. I think Greg Sestera's in it. Explorers is one that you'd watch at school, that they put on at school. It's with Joe Dante. Hi, I'm Joe Dante. My word, Joe Dante is a miserable guy when you listen to most podcasts. He's like, I know, yes, I'm Joe Dante. He's made some great films, though. So, he's probably a nice guy. He doesn't like Mystery Science Theater, though. Friday the 13th, the series, I have not seen. Keenan and Kel TV movie? Oh, I've not seen that. I used to like Keenan and Kel. Avengers, Thunderbolts, they're on there because, I don't know, they're on there. Violet Night, I never got around to watching that at Christmas. I like David Harbour. That's the one I was telling you about before, Love Box in Your Living Room, little clips of famous TV shows in the UK. I like I like Will Friedle. I think he's really talented, really funny, and I still like Boy Meets Will. So I just put this on because I've seen it when it was on the Disney Channel years ago in about 1997 or something, and I thought I must remember that one. This one is more in hope than expectation. 3 Men and a Bride. Good podcast here, which I think would actually make a good series. Dark Air with Terry Carnation. He's like a kind of a medium mystical guy on a radio show. Burn. I have only seen a few clips of this where stuff goes off in the gas station, and it looked quite good. Might take a risk on that. Listen, I'm only watching Rise of the Beast for Grimlock, I think. Haunting in Venice, not around to watching it. It might be okay. Expendables 4, I know it'll be terrible. Yin Yang and Toll Road and Hail Caesar and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know, maybe I need to watch it. Don't know why. Craven the Hunter, not sure about that one. Farron Taylor Johnson's going to be James Bond. I kind of want to watch it, but I thought that Bullet Train film that he was in was terrible. I thought his accent and the way he was behaving, and even the guy, Brian Tyree Henry was bad in it. Everything was bad in that film. But Craven the Hunter, I'm interested in seeing that. We'll see what happens. Aquaman, still not got around to watching that. Godzilla vs. Kong, still not got around watching that. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, I have seen that one. Yeah, that's the one, yeah. Or is that, no, that's the one coming up. That's the one coming up. Flanimals, I quite like those Ricky Gervais Flanimals books, even though he's dropped off massively from when I used to really like him, like around, to be honest, The Office and maybe Extras. He's dropped off massively. For my opinion, yes, he's made lots of money. Yes, he doesn't believe in God, and yes, he likes dogs. I get it, and I can say whatever I want. Yeah, okay. It's just very tiresome. I think it's very tiresome. That's just my opinion. There are worse comedians, I know, but it's all subjective, isn't it? Captain America: Brave New World. That's in there. Oh, Harrison Ford, grumbling and muttering his way through it, probably. Furiosa is supposed to be very good. People are saying it's good. I'm looking forward to that. Garfield movie is the opposite. But at least it's not. Oh no, it is Chris Pratt. Oh man, I was just going to say at least it's not Chris Pratt. It's Chris Pratt. Is he Mario as well as? Oh my word, Chris Pratt's every animated character. The Haunting in Wicker Park. I don't know about that one, but I'm interested. The new Joker film, the Blade TV series, which keeps getting put back, the new Fantastic Four. Well, they started off with a good cast. Wow, Ralph Ineson's going to be in it. I like Ralph Ineson. His deep voice. Pedro Pascal, I like. Joseph Quinn's in it. Vanessa Kirby, I don't quite know who she is, I don't think. Or if I do, it escapes me. Secret Wars. The Apology sounded interesting. I like Janine Garofalo a lot, and I don't see her in enough things. Basically, like uncomfortable family apologies. Cat and Nine Tails is on there because I haven't bought it. I like the film, but I haven't bought it. Slaughter High, I have seen that recently. I like Carolyn Monroe, and she's a lovely lady, so that's all I'm going to say about that film. New Karate Kid film, apparently Jackie Chan and Daniel, what's he called? Ralph Macchio is in it as well, I believe. The Last of Sheila. Okay, so this Last of Sheila, I'm interested in watching it because apparently it's just like the last Knives Out film, but better, which is good because I didn't really enjoy that one very much. Knives In, Knives Out, Knives Shake It All About. Freddie Francis directed this. He usually wrote a lot of the Amicus films, so I was interested in that. Praise. Spasmo, Giallo there. Then we'll get into the Giallo section here. Torso, I've just bought that, and I think I have seen it already. It was recommended to me by Al Lucard, who has a very good YouTube and Rumble channel. Crystal Lake TV series, I believe that's taken a bit of a knockback. Vengeance sounded interesting. I fancy seeing that. I'm not sure if this BJ Novak film is going to be too funny or not funny enough or a bit odd or a bit out of time, but I think I will probably watch that. All My Friends Hate Me is not just a statement of fact, but an actual film. Again, it's like a kind of horror, people in a country home, problems kind of stuff. Things ensue. But Dustin Denry Burns, who's in, what was he in? Stafford's Flats. I like him. He's pretty good. Auntie Donna's Coffee Cafe. I like the Auntie Donna stuff. I like all the stuff on Netflix, but this is one from Australia, and I can't seem to get a hold of it at the moment. Let's see, what else have we got? After last season, Visualize a Murderer who recently knifed another student. That sounds weird or terrible. It's 1.6 out of 10, so it might just be on there because it's a bad film. Have you seen Zipper Face? That is a fun bad film. Okay, we're in bad film territory, I think. Sick. Oh, this is about isolation. I think this might be on Disney Plus. King of the Ants. It's Stuart Gordon. I've still not got around to seeing it, even though I love Stuart Gordon. It's got George Wendt in it. No. Fortress. I think I have seen another Stuart Gordon. Shunny B. Okay, we're in bad film territory with Shunny B. The Shout. I don't know what that is. A guy breaks into somebody's house in Devon. John Hurt, Alan Bates. Sounds interesting. Some of these I've forgotten since I put them on. 2013, a British exorcism type film. Final Prayer. Moon in Scorpio, a Britt Eklund film from '87. Again, boats, planes, spaceships, snow. These films will always get you on my watch list. He Knows You're Alone. Serial Killer. I think that's a giallo. An Oliver Stone film called The Hand. Michael Caine loses a hand. He's a comic book artist. I just think Michael Caine as a comic book artist is interesting, but also it's Oliver Stone. I kind of want to see that. A Barbara Bach, Mrs. Ringo Starr film. Spooky House film. The Doctor and the Devils, another Freddie Francis directed film, not written, I don't think. Timothy Dalton. Grave robbing kind of film. Maxine, I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I really, really enjoyed Pearl. And I quite like the first one. The House Where Evil Dwells from 1982. I love Susan George. She was my horror, 70s horror. Just, oh man, if she's in it, I'll watch it. So that's why it's there. This one is an interesting one. Elle, one Paul Verhoeven film. This is what made me really interested in him. I know he's made other things. But he basically, she tries to track down this man that sexually assaulted her. And it becomes like quite comedic, dark, weird. Isabelle Huppert. Is very, very good at it. Hellraiser TV series, is that happening? Who knows? The remake of Cat and the Canary, I saw the original. I like that one. Bob Hope's great in that. The Big Bus, a runaway bus, nuclear runaway bus. Yes, please. Freddy's Nightmares. I've seen quite a few of those, especially the ones in the hospital that I saw, and the one with Wings Hauser in it. Spaced Out is a Norman J. Warren film. Love Norman J. Warren. Bait is a film that I owned and got rid of. It felt a bit slow, but it's filmed in a really interesting way. It won a lot of awards. I might revisit it. Sidemen the movie. I've not seen it. I do watch the Sidemen channel sometimes. I find them quite entertaining. But it's a fake trailer, apparently. But then it says an hour and 29 minutes. I don't know. There's a documentary about them anyway. They Saved Hitler's Brain, which I think is a comedy or just a really bad film from 60. I think it's a horror. Yeah, it's a horror, like a bad horror. Student Bodies. I just put that on because I have seen, I think it's like a Canadian teen show that I used to watch as a kid. And I was just like, I need to remember that. Fox Mystery Theatre. I thought it'd be interesting to check out when I saw some of the names involved, like Dean Stockwell. Same with this one, Tales of Unease. It's kind of like Hammer's House of Horror. Boogeyman, I started watching it. I like Rob Savage at the Zoom. Host is one of my favourite modern horror films. And I thought it would be very good, The Boogeyman. It's Stephen King. I've not seen it yet. Madam Web. I've not heard very good things about Madam Web. But I will probably still watch it. And then tell you it's not very good. A Little More Flesh 2. It's kind of a meta one. I've heard good things about this British director, Sam Ashurst. I wanted to check him out. He made 2 films there. Manlo Mobeen, I quite like the sort of the serious side of it, and it's quite an interesting TV series on BBC in the UK. Horror Obsessed Boy discovers his older boy is a serial killer. Found. I don't know. I think somebody told me that was very good. Jack Shoulder directed film from 1987 called The Hidden. Why do law-abiding people suddenly become violent criminals? I don't know. Until they commit a crime, I guess everybody's law-abiding people. Someone's Watching Me, a John Carpenter TV movie. The new Suspiria. I love the original so much, I don't know if I can do it. Should I watch it? I don't know. Doom Asylum. It has Patty Mullen in it from Frankenhooker. Maybe that's why I wanted to see it. I thought it sounded like an interesting idea. Young Kristen Davis. Moving Story is like a kind of pretty amiable TV show from the UK, like Sunday Night TV, about removal men. And I thought, I found that quite interesting. Beau is Afraid. I've heard mixed things on that. I do want to see the Ari Aster film, Beau is Afraid. I like Midsommar. I want to check that one out. Beast in Space. Don't know anything about that, but if it's in space, then I probably like it. If it's crap and it's in space, I probably love it. Nosferatu. Can't wait for Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Space Hunter, here we are in the space thing now. Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. Somebody told me that was very good, I think. Ice Pirates, I think I might have seen. Inferno, don't know why that's on there. I do own that. Four Flies and Grey Velvet, I own that as well. Kill Baby Kill, I have that one too. Not my favourite of his. I Am What I Am. Tinto Brass, but based in the UK film. Interesting. Naked You Die. It's like a Yoda film. Naked You Die. Naked You Die. A Margheriti film. Giallo, so I'll probably like it after making fun of it. Murder by Music. That's what I sing. $5 for an August Moon. Another Bava. Got quite a lot of Bava since I put these on, I think. Case the Scorpion's Tail, Sergio Martino. Loads of Giallo. Giallo. Umberto Lenzi. Some of these I will have seen by now. Lizard in a... And a great title. The Iguana with the Tongue of Fire. A Lizard in a Woman's Skin. Oh, there's a bit of a theme there. Death Walks on High Heels. Bay of Blood. That might be my favourite Mario Bava film. Black Belly the Tarantula. The Designated Victim. Short Nights of the Glass Dolls. Aldo Lado film. Wow, so many Giallo Matthews put on here. Who Saw Her Die? That's quite interesting one with George Lazenby and one of my favourite, if not my favourite, James Bond. What have you done to Solange? Very whoa, slow down, Matthew. You're going too fast. Oh. In fact, I might. There's like a lot of Giallo there to scale through. Trauma, I think I quite liked it, actually, even though it's a relatively modern one. Body Puzzle. Primal Rage. How many baboon films were we going to have and monkey films were going to have in the 80s? Project X and things like that. Stage Fright. I like anything sort of behind stage, like opera. Opera's great. I did a series of videos with JT's Horrors Discussions, and we talked about opera. That was, I think, his number one. Dario Argento film. You Die at Midnight. Phenomena. Nothing Underneath. Oh, wow, so many Giallo. All of these are ones I want to see, or I have seen. The House Full of Laughing Pupi Avati. It's got to be a good film if the guy's name is Pupi. The Psychic. Yeah, Fulci. So many. I've not seen The New York Ripper. Is that the one with the Donald Duck voice person? I want to see that. Blade in the Dark. Tuxedo. So many. 1983. Oh, this is why. Now we're up to. There's an actor called Cliff Twemlow, who was going to be like an action star from Manchester in the UK, which is quite unusual, or wanted to be. And they made a documentary about it, which I've still not been able to get hold of, called Mancunian Man. I think it's the same people who did the recent Robocop documentary, which is really good, Robodoc. Apocalypse Clown I wanted to see because I quite like David Earl as an actor. I find him quite interesting. House of the Devil, I still not got around to seeing that Ty West film. I went back to that because I was like, oh, well, if he can make Pearl, then he must be pretty good. Another Giallo, Seven Bloodstained Orchids. KYTV was like a spoof TV show of the advent of satellite TV. The Michael Fenton Stevens. That was quite funny. I just kind of put it on there because I wanted to forget it. Creek Encounters, a film made by my friend Jason Brown, who's made an incredible strides between films. He made Ghost Track. This one is a massive step forward from what I've seen of Creek Encounters, and he goes again. The guy's got an incredible work ethic and a real love for horror. I wish him nothing but tons of success. This is the Danzig film that I talked to Horror Cat Dad and Don the Night Owl movie about Glenn Danzig, because they're both fans of Misfits, I think Don more so, and it's a bad film, Death Rider and the House of Vampires. American Mary, I don't know, it's the Soska sisters. Does sound kind of interesting. The New Highlander, is that getting made? Maybe. It's got John Wick director and Henry Cavill. Don't know how I feel about Henry Cavill in things. He was good in the Mission Impossible thing, wasn't he? I prefer Brandon Routh as Superman. Step by Step, I have nice memories of remembering. What am I talking about? Step by Step TV series, Patrick Duffy and Suzanne Summers. I just liked that show when I was a kid. I just put it on. It was just good moving wallpaper. Zombie 90, Alucard recommended that to me. That's a terrible, 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 terrible film. Plankton. I don't know why I put that one. I think it just sounded interesting. Death Machine. We're getting into real B-movie stuff here. Pandoran. Hypersleep, Spaceship, Dennis Quaid, Ben Foster. Sounds all right to me. Camp Blood 9. I think I might be in that. I think I did like the Indiegogo and I'm supposed to have like a remote part, but so far they've not got in touch with me and it's a long while ago, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's got Butch Patrick in it. Me and Butch Patrick. What more do you want in a movie? 10 out of 10. I went through a phase of quite liking the sort of British take on inner city movies like Another Hood and things like that. I thought, I'll watch this Some Other Hood just because I watched all the other Adam Deacon ones. But I think, to be honest, I prefer the American experience, like films like Friday and Boys in the Hood. This is a strange one. I don't know anything about that one. Mistress Pamela. Sounds weird. Shock, Mario Bava and Lamberto Bava. Got that somewhere hidden away. This one, Carl Gollner film, I believe, is it? Passenger? Yeah, they basically go on a killing spree. It reminded me a little bit of those classic kind of 70s films, you know, people go off on disappear in their cars and go off on a killing spree. So I thought that sounded interesting. This one was a good one. It was a TV series made in Australia about attacking from Australia to attack a harbour in Japan during the war. And it's like British and Australian commandos coming together. And it was made in tandem by British TV stations and Australian TV stations. And they made like a 2-episode miniseries of it. I really, really enjoyed it. This one, I wanted to see The Gallows Pole because it was around the time of the Witchfinder sort of stuff, and I'm interested in that. Saw X, still not got around to that. I don't think I've watched all of them. The New Dr. Jekyll. I slightly upset the makers of this film by laughing and making a little video about a really bad review of it. However, good reviews are available, as I said. Frozen Empire, not seen it yet. Want to. Dead Reckoning, I think it's out yet. No One Will Save You is on Disney Plus at the moment. Thought it sounded interesting just from the title. The Autopsy of Jane Doe, people keep telling me is very good. I have to keep watching the Birdemic films. It is a sickness. Justin Tamplin, who made The Lights Over Madison County. Why do I always do it? Montgomery County. He's got a really great future ahead of him as a director, and I'm always interested in his stuff. People Under the Stairs, I never watched. It was Craven one. Witchery, starring David Hasselhoff and Linda Blair. Okay, so that's the reason I want to watch that. The Blair Witch Adam Wingard film. I think really Adam Wingard is doing a lot of heavy lifting for me, that being on the list. This one's really expensive to get hold of. The WNUF Halloween special makes me think of Late Night with the Devil, from what I can see of it. Is it any good? Because everywhere I've seen it is super expensive. Tales of Halloween, 10 Stories, Adrian Barbeau, anyone? Murder Party. Jeremy Saulnier makes some really good films like Green Room and things like that. This is one of his I've not seen. Satan's Little Helper. Don't know anything about that, but I thought it sounded interesting. May. I don't know anything about that one. It does sound interesting. I like Jeremy Sisto and I like Anna Faris. So maybe that's why that's on there. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, 1981. It's got James Earl Jones's dad in it. To kill someone The court sets them free, and so basically like a revenge thing. Okay, It's a Wonderful Knife. I've not heard good things about that, even though Justin Long and Joe McHale in it, I quite like. Because It's a Wonderful Life is amazing. I thought, okay, they can't mess this up. I didn't have. Secrets of the Mogwai, I've seen a couple of episodes. It is available in the UK now on iPlayer. I only know from what I've seen of the Night Owl Don's reviews, should I say. The Descent, people tell me this is really, really good. Jamie Ray, whose podcast, Five Fans podcast, he told me to watch this, and it's on my list for that reason. New Vampires, or a modern vampires film, the Carpenter one, but made by Tommy Lee Wallace with John Bon Jovi in it. Love Crispin Glover. Apparently he was making a film. Who knows? Documentary about the Darkness, the band. Probably interesting. The new the charity version of The Room with Bob Odenkirk doing the Tommy Wiseau part. Demon Squad, made by the absolutely amazing Thomas Smith, such a great guy. The first Demon Squad was riffed on Mystery Science Theatre. That's how I got to know Thomas. I interviewed him about that. He's making the new one now. However, there's been some issue with some of the digital storage, and I'm hoping they're able to bring it back and save what they've filmed. So yeah, check out Demon Squad. I'll check out Thomas Smith on X and different things to see how he's getting on with that. Pound Cake, I don't know, that just sounded interesting. It was like a serial killer movie, but quite modern. The Moor is coming out soon, or out soon. Haunted Moors in the UK. Dampire, like I think it's a Romanian vampire film. Sightseers, I have seen. I do like Ben Wheatley. I don't know why it's on there though. I'm not sure why I want to watch it again. Herschel Gordon Lewis film, The Go-Go Girls. I think Mikey's Morgue told me about this one. I want to see it. This one's really funny, Digital Man. It is available on YouTube. Every famous actor you can think of's brother is in this, like Bob Swayze and Adam Baldwin and Jim Bob Cruz or something. But like, no, I just made that last one up. But it's fun. It's really fun. Trapped Ashes. Sean Cunningham, Joe Dante directing it. Ooh. Oh, so it's like an anthology. Interesting. Gothic, Ken Russell film. I don't mind Ken Russell stuff. That's why I've got Altered States on there as well. So I like The Lair of the White Worm. The Island, Michael Caine. Stranded on an Island. Oh, no, bloody stranded on this bloody island. Shredder is not about the guy from Turtles, I'm afraid. I think it's about being trapped on a ski resort, but also mystery killers. This one, Hollywood Horror, is strange. It's like all the kids from the 90s TV shows are at a Hollywood slasher film theme party. And it's, yeah, the story behind the film's quite interesting. That's probably why that's on there. I've heard like mixed things about this, and maybe it got an unfair shake of it. Under the Silver Lake. It's the guy who did It Follows, and obviously he did so poorly that he's now doing They Follow. They Follows. Silent Night, the John Woo film that I want to have a look at. The Iron Claw. Oh man, I do know about this, and I am aware of it, and I'm sure it's very, very good. But I've watched all the documentaries about the Von Erichs, and it's so sad. Napoleon, I've not watched yet. Killer, possibly only watch that because it's David Fincher, I think. Godzilla -1, I want to buy a nice copy of that before I watch it. So excited about seeing that. Jackdaw sounds interesting. Reminds me a little bit of that Ryan Gosling film where he's on the motorbike. What's it called? Something Pines thing. Not the things they do in the Pines. Something Pines. And it reminds me a little bit of that. I'm quite interested in that. Also, it's Thomas Turgoose, who is in a lot of the Shane Meadows films. I quite like him. New Despicable Me film, because, I don't know, I got to see that, I guess. They're pretty harmless. The new Superman with the guy from Pearl in it. Good Son. I never saw that. I remember maybe, this is the most strange choice that Macaulay Culkin is making at the height of his powers and what have you. Apparently, it is good. Satan Wants You is the name of the film. Okay, Tokyo Godfathers. I don't know why I've got that one on there, but it sounds interesting. Oh, it's an animated film. Never Lake Mystery. Modern Jello, maybe. Stone Tapes from 1972. Ooh, Ghost Hunting. Demons of the Mind. Robert Hardy. Cry of the Banshee. I think I've seen. That's with Vincent Price. And it's got witches in it, so it should be good. Orson Welles' Necromancy. Don't know that, but that's why it's on there, I guess, so I do. Watch it. Eye of the Devil, David Niven, Sharon Tate. She Will. Aging actress gets nursed. Revenge emerged from the land where witches were burned. Ooh, sounds good. A Field in England, another Ben Wheatley film that I haven't seen. Black Death is one that I really rate as a film. No one watches it, as says anything about it. So I feel like I put it on there so I don't forget it. Blood on Satan's Claws, another one of those. People don't know, maybe talk about that as much as possible, as much as they should. Piers Haggard, Director Ryder Haggard's relative. Mark of the Devil, or another witch hunter film, which I have seen. Udo Kier in that one. Trick or Treat 2, I believe they're making. Charlie Chan film, that'll be interesting to do that and not offend every single person on the planet. Lisa Frankenstein, I've heard it's supposed to be quite good. I want to give Zelda Williams' film a go. It's a nice idea. We'll see how that goes. Beverly Hills Cop series. I know Dave Savage Zombie Reviews. He talked a lot about this and being excited to see it, so I hope it's good. Twilight of the Mallrats, I don't think that's getting made. Ernest Borgnine's Oscar-winning film Marty, which again is a little bit like the River Phoenix film Dogfight. Outpost, it's the comedian Joe Latrulio. I'm quite interested in seeing how that works, fighting back against nature and being cornered in nature. The Sorcerer film, William Friedkin. It's the Friedkin Weekend. The Dirties, I don't know what this is about. I think it's that one of them thinks that they're doing a school shooting and the other one thinks that they're playing like a prank. I don't know how subtly they pull that off. Night Swim, I've heard only bad things about Night Swim. But I like Wyatt Russell. I don't know, maybe I'll give it a go. I think, was he the only good thing about the Captain America TV series, Wyatt Russell? Possibly. Speak No Evil. Oh, yes, I want to see this. This is on my I really want to see list. The Watchers, I saw the trailer for this. It's M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. Okay, I want to give that a go. Trap, I saw the trailer for this one with Josh Hartnett, where they pretty much give away the whole film, so don't watch the trailer. If you think it's going one way, then it goes another way. We maybe don't need to know the other way until we've seen the film. But Josh Hartnett looks good in it. Looks like he's going to be good in it. Pretty Red Dress at the centre. It reminded me a little bit of In Fabric, which is one of my favourite recent horror films. So I thought I'll put that one on there. Messiah of Evil. Haven't got a clue why that's on there. Best Defence. It's got Dudley Moore and Eddie Murphy. That's why. Okay, Capture. Hunt Club. This is the kind of battle royale kind of thing. Hunt Club, but it's like Mickey Rourke and Billy and the cast of, sometimes when you see a film and it's got like 10 famous people in it, all from like 10, 15 years ago, and you think it might not be good, but we'll see how it goes. The Boy and the Heron, I still want to see that. I love all of those films. The Eternal Daughter, Joanna Hogg. I think it's a horror, and she's known for being a good director. Tilda Swinton is. I thought it'd be interesting. Dream Scenario. I don't know anything about that one. Oh yes, Nicolas Cage. People start seeing him in their dreams. Love Lies Bleeding. I have seen that recently. I was really disappointed with it because I love Saint Maud, and I thought it was going to be as good as that. I know some people might say it's really good. Didn't do it for me, I'm afraid. Love Lies Bleeding. Bung Joon Ho's Mickey 17. which sounds interesting. It's like a clone thing with Robert Pattinson. It might be super boring and like white and like washed out, but I don't know. We'll see. The Kitchen is on Netflix at the moment, directed by Daniel Kaluuya, who is great in Get Out. I think he might be quite good. I believe Ian Wright's in it, the footballer. Fear the Night is a Neil Butte film about basically Maggie Q beating the crap out of people. The new Maniac Cop remake. Big Boys is an incredible TV show. So much heart to it, beautifully acted and really funny, about friendship. And maybe show, if you have kids and they're of a certain age, show them this. This is how you look out for your friends, how you grow and learn with your friends, and you don't become like some sort of powder keg of red-faced anger over nothing. So yeah, watch Big Boys. Magnum P.I., one of my favourite shows of all time. Vampire Brooklyn, I never got around to watching it. I didn't even realise it was Wes Craven until recently. True Detective, the first series, I thought was really, really good. Wings Hauser directed this film. Uwe Boll's new film, he talked about that in his interview with me, and I was interested in seeing that and then talking to him about it again. Postal, I've never actually seen. He's made one or two good films, you know. Thinner, Stephen King film, interested in that. Tom Holland directing Fright Night. I used to read the Ed McBain books, so I was interested in seeing if the films were any good. I believe Joey Pants is in them. Avalanche with Rock Hudson, Robert Forster. It's a Mystery Science Theatre reason I put that on. Trauma, I've not seen. Oh yeah, I have seen. But it's pretty, yeah, I've got no thoughts on it. Love the old Musketeers films. Love the fact they filmed two of them back to back and then only paid them for one. They got caught out because it's not like they weren't going to notice. Love the Herbie films when I was a kid. Just wanted to remind myself to watch some more of those. Like Jonah Ray from Mystery Science Theatre, so I wanted to see Christmas Bloody Christmas. Last Slumber Party is one of the funniest films ever. I've just done a video on it. It'll come up soon. When you see anything that says Last Slumber Party on it from me, then you need to watch it because it will make you laugh. Angus, I always wanted to see it. So it's kind of just before you're a teenager kind of films. I thought would be funny about like a kid who learns that, you know, to love himself and who he is and that kind of stuff, but in a really funny, I think it's almost like a grunge era kind of film. Empire of the Dark, I've not seen. I don't know it. It's a satanic cult from another dimension. Okay, I'm in. 30 Coins, Escaping Demons. Don't know about that either. I think it's a TV series I've heard good things about. Vincent Price, Chloe Gulager. Come on now. In Fabric, just bought that recently. I've watched it a few times. It's a great, really great horror film. The Royal Hotel. It's supposed to be like a horror drama cross, maybe. But I don't know, someone told me it was really, really good. I've not heard anything else. Dinner in America, Carl Gallner. That is a really good film. I've seen about half of it, and I need to see the other character come back to watch the other half. He's a great actor, but it's a really well-written film in the kind of ghost world kind of feel to it. Desperate Living, another John Waters I've not seen, one of his early ones. Quiet on Set, I do and I don't want to see this. I definitely want to see some sort of like justice for the weird crap that went on there. Oh, probably still is. Nicholas Vince from Hellraiser, who plays the Chatterer documentary. I'm really interested in watching that documentary. Potentially interviewing him, maybe. Mausoleum. I don't know anything about that, other than it's from 1983 and it's about a little kid being possessed. Face of Horror, Bluebeard, Annabella. Now I'm going to do a video about Annabella because, in fact, let me write that down because I'm reading her book, Bluebeard's Castle, at the moment, and she did The Love Witch. If you've watched The Love Witch and you liked it, tell me because I don't know anybody else that does. Turkish Superman. I did Turkish Superman video recently. Documentary about the story of Police Academy. Interviewed the producer of that film recently. Play Cuts Deeper. Interviewed the director of that film, and I can't wait for that to come out. A British Yellow, let's go. Or Yellow inspired. Abigail, I've heard mixed things. The documentary on Steve Martin. People forget what a phenomenon he was as a stand-up. People's Joker, how am I going to get hold of that? Civil War. It's Alex Garland, so it will be good, but I might not love it. Wicked Love Little Letters sounds quite funny, but I don't know. The Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein, again, Ralph Ineson's in that, Mia Goth, and Oscar Isaac. I know she's not for everyone. The Holdovers was a big winner at the Oscars, and that sounds quite good. It like, what's it called? Not Mystery Men. The one with Michael Douglas in it, where he's like a professor, grumpy professor. It's a kind of grumpy professor kind of film, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anatomy of a Fall, again, it interested me in that one. I wanted to watch it after I saw about the Oscars. Male Mascaras versus the Aztec Money. Yeah. Wrestling, ridiculous film. But 2007. Okay, we'll see how that goes. Pets. Don't know how I know about this film. I don't know anything about it from 1973. The Dark and the Wicked, I think, have Cheetah Will View told me to watch this one. Fatal Deviation sequel, let's go. Cherry 2000, no one seems to ever talk about it or know about it, but it's a mad film. It's good. June 2002, I've not seen it. Immaculate Part 2, not seen it yet. Lost Voyage of Demeter, I liked it a lot. The Voyeurs, I liked it a lot. And A Violent Nature, I'm looking forward to it a lot. Long Legs, I am medium-sized, looking forward to that. My Bloody Valentine 2009, just watched it the other day, actually. I got it with 3D glasses in it. Well, my eyes don't work properly, so I can't see 3D, but I can't see with 3D glasses, I mean. There is one good scene in it. You'll know it's in the hotel if you've seen that film. It's a pretty good scene. All the rest of it's pretty trash. Tamara. Don't know anything about that one, but I'm interested in that kind of revenge thing. Mithrigan. What about Dracula? Okay, I'll watch that if that ever comes out. Shepherd Code. Don Wilson's in it, and Jimmy Bennett from Fatal Deviation. Snake of June, I own that now. It's supposed to be very, very good. Gold Raiders. It's a Robert Ginty film. High Road to... Oh, this is when I was looking at all the kind of Raiders knockoffs. The Perils of Gwendolyn in the Land of Yik Yak. Yeah, okay. What a great title. Smashing Machine, now the documentary of that about Mark Kerr is really, really good. Not sure how The Rock is going to play Mark Kerr, but we'll see. I saw a picture of him today and he actually looked a bit like him. That is a weird one. I spoke to our friend 101 Bronson about this film, Crazy House, because it's a Dutch comedy duo who made it with Nick Frost and Alicia Silverstone. It looks a bit mad, a bit weird, and I'm interested. Cold Eyes of Fear. Don't know anything about that one. It looks like an interesting giallo. If I don't know what anything is, I'll say it's an interesting giallo. Deadly Bet is a Richard Munchkin film, and I'm doing lots of Richard Munchkin films at the moment, and he's talked about them. So we've got Texas Payback, and the Chucky TV series I'm really interested in watching, actually. People tell me it's really good. And yeah, The First Omen, I heard good things about that, surprisingly, so I want to watch that too. We're getting near the end now. Jitters is a film by Mark Zammit that he's funding at the moment that I'm interested in. Mutilator 2, I like the first one. And we're making a new Mutilator film in 2023. That sounds interesting. The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford. I've just been doing a video about the cinematographer from that. And it's a beautiful film to look at, and a film I maybe need to revisit. Underground Aces, Benedict's in it. Spaceman. The Mark Zammit film Witch that I do need to see and review soon because I'm looking forward to that one. And this one is called Lucky Bastard. I don't know what that one's about. Oh yeah, I heard good things about that the other day, but it's from 2014 and it's got a pretty poor rating, but it does sound interesting. Okay, that is all. Every single IMDb film off my watch list. Do we share any films? I'm sure we do. Probably some more like the more blockbustery ones. I really enjoyed doing that. It was good fun. I need a drink now, though, because my throat's killing from reading all those names. How do you use your watch list? Do you use it in a similar way or a different way? Let me know. I'm really interested. Are you an IMDb person? Are you somebody who uses other ways of listing? I can only think, I was just trying to wrap my brain then of other things other than Letterboxd and IMDb, but I'm sure there must be other things that you use. Or you just write them down in a book. I do have a review book that I use sometimes when I'm writing reviews for things. And when I was a kid, I used to just write in the back of notepads. So, are any of those films that you're like, Matt, save yourself some trouble, don't watch any of them? Or ones where you're like, yeah, I was thinking about that too. Okay, cool. I really enjoyed chatting about these with you, and please share the video out if you've made it this far, an hour and 30 minutes into the video. Share it out, like it, tell me about your watch list. How do you use it? All right, guys, have an absolutely wonderful evening, morning, or afternoon. Be careful out there, and I'll see you again. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.